Lucido Products markets two computer games, the Claim Jumper and the Makeover. A contribution format income statement for a recent month for the two games appears below. Compute the contribution margin ratio for the company as a whole, and compute the overall break-even point for the company in sales dollars. Again, we'll ignore the individual data for the Claim Jumper and the Makeover for calculating our company's overall break-even point. What's important simply is our total sales and our total variable expenses. Let's go ahead and calculate our contribution margin ratio for the entire company. Our sales as a percentage of sales are 100%. Our variable expenses as a percentage of sales are 70%, which is simply the $70,000 in total variable expenses divided by our $100,000 in total sales, which means our contribution margin ratio is 30%. And we can calculate this by subtracting the 70% from the 100%, or dividing our $30,000 total contribution margin divided by our total sales of $100,000. Let's go ahead now and calculate our break-even point using our contribution margin ratio. Recall, our break-even point is where our net operating income is zero. Since we are told our fixed expenses, and that's simply from above, are $24,000, to reach break-even, we're going to need a total contribution margin of $24,000. That's our net operating income of zero plus our fixed expenses. Our break-even point in sales then is simply our total contribution margin of $24,000 divided by our 30% contribution margin ratio. Our total sales for break-even are $80,000, and we can confirm this by calculating our total variable expenses, which will be $56,000, which is the $80,000 in sales times our 70% variable expense ratio. When we subtract our $56,000 in variable expenses from $80,000 in sales, we indeed get the contribution margin of $24,000 that we calculated when we did our initial break-even